Oh yeah.
All right. Are you there?
Yeah, do you hear me?
Okay, yeah. Okay, okay.
Do you see me?
Yeah. It looked like you said something and then I didn't hear anything. So, I don't know. It might have just been your mouth moving and I was just yeah, I got nothing. Welcome to Comics in the Making. My name is Ryan Holgerson. I'm the creator of Slackmanic, and joining me as always is
Yeah, this episode is our pitch. We want to be voice actors. We want to give up cartooning and we want to be voice actors. And this is this is our pitch for that.
Should I redo that or are we going to keep that in?
We always keep it in.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to keep the intro so that part makes sense. And me just like, yeah. But Levi, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. It's I guess before someone yells at us for it, we're going to talk about the weather real quick. It's been fairly seasonal, I think, in the Carolina Piedmont this weekend.
Yeah. I've only been outside once today. I had to go run to the store. Um, but yeah, it felt like February.
Yeah.
So, and damn, I can't believe we're in February. I'm like just this this year is already just flying by.
Yeah, yeah. It was a long year last month, without a doubt.
Yeah. So
But
I've completed so I had like a self-imposed goal of getting the 45 pages done um by January 31st because I had so where I got the story done the week before and I was coming up to this week's story and it was a 7 pager and I was like, man, if I finish this by Wednesday, by the end of Wednesday, that'll be 45 pages in January. And I got this story done at like 3 in the morning, 2 or 3 in the morning on February 1st, and then went back and did a few edits like the next morning once I woke up. So I don't know, 43 pages maybe in January, if
that's
I
pretty
don't count those first few hours of February.
that's pretty dope.
So, yep. So, but yeah, I mean it's been busy. I mean that's doing that stuff, doing the videos, doing podcasts with you, like run. I mean I think all of this is just making this year just fly by.
Yeah, like when it comes to time, days off or whatever, I always have this thing where I'm afraid that if I schedule a bunch of activities on days off, the days will just fly by, right? But then if I don't do anything on a day off, it flies by, I think, even faster.
Yeah,
So, it doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, like, what am I trying to do? Am I trying to just exist longer in a certain space, or do I want to get some stuff done that I can, reflect on later on? So, and going back to our episode about rescheduling your days, I've done that, and it's not, I haven't hit like the rhythm that I want yet, but it's certainly improved, and it's certainly improved not just my productivity, but also my spare time. We sat down as a family and watched School of Rock. It's been a long time since we watched that one, but it was in very heavy rotation a handful of years ago. So it was a good time, and it's a fun movie.
oh yeah, I
You know,
love that
so
movie.
so so being mindful of the time that I have available to me opened me up to allowing myself those moments. And that was after getting a page done yesterday. I got page one of the big issue number two. I was not going to say number because I don't want to say the big number two.
Yeah. You learned your lesson.
Yeah, I put that on social media, and somebody pointed out that joke that should have been obvious to me, but oh, the big number two. So that one alone is going to be the big issue too.
Well, you didn't go to press like Marvel with their giant size man thing. So,
Just think if I can sell my IP to Marvel and they bring back the giant size series of comics, you
yeah.
get giant size big number two.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just writing the reviews for you.
I should be so lucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the review right there. It's
Oh
like
yeah, no, if you
the
were
big number two title says it all.
yeah. That's all I got to say about this is yes, it's a giant big number two.
And that's why we do this show. That's
Uh,
why you watch this show for this kind of insight. Give me a second.
my favorite I do read reviews, not necessarily well, I read reviews of my stuff, but I don't really send a lot of stuff out for review. You know what? My readers, they review me on a weekly basis. So I get
Mm,
enough of that. But uh
tell us more about that.
huh. Okay, well, yeah, but let me tell you my favorite review of all time. My favorite review of all time was for the House of the Dead movie. Did you ever see that?
Uh,
Don't. Um,
okay.
well, do you remember the video games House of the Dead?
Oh
They
yeah,
were
yeah, 100%.
arcade shooter, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So they made a movie out of it. It's hot fucking garbage. And dude, from the scene breaks, from scene to scene, it shows scenes from the video game. Like it shows the arcade like zombies being killed on
What?
the
Why?
like, dude, it's so bad. It's
Okay,
so bad.
never
And
mind.
it was I don't think it was in I don't think it was I can't remember what magazine it was. I want to say it was Game Informer because I was getting it a lot, but at the same time, I don't think it was a Game Informer. But anyway, it was some video game magazine, and someone wrote a review of it, and they said, I love the DVD for House of the Dead. When I take it out of the case and I put it in the DVD player, it plays. It works great. And that was the review. That was it. It was just the DVD works. That's
That's
my
it.
favorite review of all time.
Dude, now I
That's
want to see it.
yeah. Oh, it's horrible movie. I mean, if you want to laugh, yeah, it's one of those movies. It's
Laugh
yeah,
at the dead or
but
laugh at the
I'm not sure
dead.
it, there's that weird fine line between bad and good and so bad it's good. And there's those movies that are so bad they're good.
Well,
And then
I
there's
think it's like
those movies that are just so bad they're bad.
it doesn't make it good. It makes it like enjoyable,
Right.
you know, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. I get it. Best of the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
To give a shout out to that plucky little channel, Red Letter Media, that's out there. Best of
Yeah.
the worst. Go check them out if you haven't heard of those guys. Go check it. They can use the support. Go check them out.
Yeah. But yeah, so you were all right. So this last week, when we've talked some about me posting on Reddit and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And so this last week when I posted um on the comics subreddit, I got 1.7 million views of my last story.
Yes.
Um which was awesome. Like I think we talked about this in the episode of is it ever enough?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and how, I have the last few with like subreddits combined, like the two main ones that I post on, I've been getting close to a million views, either with them combined or even just some just by themselves. So I've been getting real close to that million.
Yeah.
And then like not quite hitting it. And I just keep going, boy, it sure would be nice to hit that million. Um, and this one on Friday, it was like when I got up, I posted at 6 in the morning. When I got up at like 9 or 9:30, I don't remember when I sent you that because I sent this screenshot to Levi just to
Mhm.
show him. So it was like early afternoon or
Yeah.
like noon or something like that. By noon, I had hit 1 million already. Um, so it hit really fast. But I did kind of want to break down what that did. Because I think it's important for people that are out there creating and stuff like that to keep this in mind.
Mhm.
So 1.7 million views. Um, I got over 12,000 upvotes, I believe, which is very respectable
Mhm.
on Reddit.
Yeah.
So 12,000 some upvotes. Um, I think I got about 150 new followers on there. I'm at just about 700, which I mean that's really in the last month. I think when I started this project, I wasn't even at 100. I think I had maybe 30. Um, so I'm close to 700. I think I had carryover into Instagram where I got maybe 20 new followers or something on Instagram. I got 2 new followers on Webtoons, and I got one new patron
Nice.
on Patreon. So that's all to say, big views doesn't mean that all of a sudden you made it. It takes
Hmm.
time. It takes that marathon. Don't get me wrong. Every time I get that email and I've got a new patron, $2 a month, I am fucking through the roof excited. Like
Hell yeah.
seriously. I every single time I get it, I'm excited. That's
Hmm.
$2 more for me, that's $2 closer to living my dream is kind of how I think about it. Um, but like I said, 1.7 million whittled down to one person giving me monetary um support.
Yep.
So it's a marathon.
Oh, 100%. But it's still a very, exciting thing
Oh
to
yeah.
wake up and see that kind of engagement with people, especially with the upvotes, people who are, on this channel, people who are commenting, engaging with us, um, giving us critique, one way or the other. That's all good in the long run because it only makes us better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I and the overall consensus with my work on Reddit has been positive.
Hmm.
And I don't want to just say Reddit because it's like I said, it has been bleeding over into Webtoons, it's been bleeding over into Instagram. So I'm just, as a whole, what I've been doing has been very positive. But we definitely get, I'll get those occasional comments where, they didn't like something.
Hmm.
Um, you know what? And I kind of want to talk about this. When we get criticism, when do you think it's important to look at it and really take that to heart? And when do you think you can just ignore it?
Oh, good question. Um, consider, just on its face, consider everything, at least briefly. Um, so I'm gonna take this back to music
Yeah.
real quick. My band played a show last week, and I think we've kind of like touched on it. The generations are starting to change. We've been around for a long time, and
Yeah.
so we've kind of stayed static, so to speak. We've been there, we've been at the gigs. The crowd is morphing. It's getting younger. The next generations are coming up and through. So there are people who are all of a sudden being able to show up to venues who know about us but haven't seen us yet. And most often, I don't know that I've ever had anyone come up to me and say, "Hey, I thought I never heard of you guys before. I thought you sucked." People kind of don't do that in person.
No.
Um, but people come up and they say, "Oh, that was great, it blew my mind." It's their first year of getting into gigs, and that's great. I love it. But the people who have been coming to our gigs for the past 11, 12 years, when they come up and say, "Hey, y'all were really good tonight," it's kind of like you would know because you were there,
Yeah.
um, from the onset. And when you take the moment to say, "Hey, that was exceptional this time," that goes far. So to bring that back over to comics or this channel or whatever creative endeavors that we're involved in, the people, I think it might be a little bit more equalized because someone just finding us, they may really know what they're talking about, and they may have been engaged with our kind of content for quite some time. They may make their own content, and then, but people who've been with us for since the beginning, they've seen our evolution. They've seen us, kind of like figure out what the hell we're doing, and they've observed our journey up to this point. So it's kind of like, two. I process it in two different ways. If I'm familiar with somebody and I think that they know their stuff when they offer criticism or praise, I take it a little bit closer here. It's
Yeah.
is passing by says, "Hey, not bad, not bad. I like that. Cool. Come back for the next time. Give us another comment." And good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am with sort of processing critique, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna steal something from the Comic Lab guys that I like that they say, and they say always listen to your readers, never listen to a reader. And I
Yeah.
think, what that means is, if you've got one guy going, I didn't like this, um, it's pretty easy to ignore that, you know. Uh, if you've got half your readers going, I didn't like this, you need to step back and go, okay, did I misstep here? You
Hmm.
know, or it might not even be like I didn't like this. It might be this was confusing, like what's happening here, something like that, something with the story or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, so if anybody's listened to our Gabba Gabba podcast that we recorded and it's out and available, I think I mentioned that I had a guy coming to every one of my stories this past month and commenting that yet another piece of media where the dad is an idiot
Hmm.
and the daughter like fixes everything. Like, do we really need more of this? And this guy actually this week he has, as far as I know, he hasn't commented.
Oh
Um,
no. Hope he's okay.
I do. I know, man. I'm worried about him. I've been thinking about it. I hope he's all right. Uh, but but he's been messaging.
And if something happened to whoever this is, we didn't do it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, let's
I
put
just
that
want to
out there.
document that
No,
statement.
yeah. But so he's posted that every week or whatever. And that's something, a comment like that is something where I can right off the bat, I just, I haven't responded to this guy at all, with the
Mm.
exception of just talking about it here. Um, I have found it immensely amusing that he would post that. Um, it's it's clearly someone who doesn't understand how storytelling works and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
you know what, I don't care, I don't care, it slides right off. I think it's hilarious. But that's the thing, he's the only one.
I'm
um
not saying it's the case with this individual, but I would feel like if someone's bitter about high alimony payments and child support, that could be something that
oh,
they might say.
it it absolutely, like when I first saw him, I was like, this smacks of a fat divorcee dad who never gets to see his kids, and just, and so he's looking at this character who's a single dad who's getting to see his kids, and he's an idiot, and it's hitting him. And I just and I'm like, and if that's the case, I kind of feel bad,
Well, you feel bad, but I mean, you gotta sometimes you make your own bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And they're
And
fictional
this is all
characters.
conjecture, speculation,
Yeah,
and
no.
just having a little bit of fun with it.
And everybody, they're fictional characters. They're fictional characters.
Yeah.
It's their stories. It's a story. I do get a lot of comments where people are legitimately worried about Audrey in the story, and I'm comics. I just anyway. Uh, so
Hey,
so
but that's all good. That's all good. That is all excellent stuff. That's the kind of stuff you want to be able to say about your creation, your comic. You want to be able to have stories like this about the feedback you're getting from the audience.
yeah.
Because if you don't have them,
No, I agree.
you know what I mean?
No, and that's the thing that, I've talked about it before. To me, the worst kind of comment is, I'll be honest, the worst comment I have gotten so far has been meh. That was it. MEH, meh. And to me, that, I didn't do anything for that guy. He didn't like it. He didn't hate it. He was just like, meh. And that to me, that's the worst. That's the absolute
Yeah,
worst. Like
but
if
still that betrays some bullshit, on its own because if you really feel meh
So
about
why'd you
something,
type it? Yeah.
you know, you're just you see something there and you want to use that as some kind of like springboard or one of those what do they call those things, the climbing walls that they put in so you can step on it and keep going. You know,
Hmm.
something to elevate themselves. It's always been a thing. It's a hipster trope that goes back
Yeah.
and back and back. It's like, I've got so much ass behind me. My meh comment to you is something big.
Yeah.
So I need to make that.
Yeah.
And without whatever the motivation is, and this one I am gonna, prove me wrong
Yeah.
is bullshit. And the person is their motivation is bullshit. And they're trying to, use your strip in publicly as one of them things on the fucking climb. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what
No.
all trolling is anyways.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and it's man, I think about this a lot. Um, because most artists and creators, we are a little more sensitive than other people. Um, and we're a little more introverted, and it's hard enough for some people just to put their work out there for anybody to
Hmm.
see. And we have episodes about that where you just got to do it. You just got to do it. And so it's like it's hard for people, putting that stuff out there, and then get some jackass
Hmm.
coming along that's just got to say something, and it's like, man, really, like, dude, and then here's the thing, I don't think we probably don't have very many of those people watching us right now at this
Sure.
moment, um but yeah, like, think about the impact you're having on that person, like, do you really want, because for me it's not going to stop me. I've been doing it a long time. I did,
Yeah.
it really doesn't affect me. um but like, for someone just starting out and stuff like that, man, that can just completely stop them in their tracks.
Well, I mean, that's what it's all about. That's why you troll, you
Yeah.
troll to, you know, because you're not doing it. You never find someone who's doing something, no matter how big of an asshole they are,
Yeah.
like looking around and trying to find someone small and just go at them. You know, if you're really doing shit, hey, you're focused on doing your stuff. It probably takes a lot of effort and time on your part, and that's what's important to you. Um, Also with experience and some kind of maturity, and some kind of existing in that realm of making things, doing things. You started at a point that is probably a little bit distant from where you are now. And you can see that in other people. So, and you have nothing to gain from, doing that. So
Yeah.
the people that have something to gain, as infinitesimally small as it might be, are the people with nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, we got a troll. You got a troll on one of your shorts. And
Maybe. Yeah.
without to delve too much into it, it was a goofy comment that was made way too soon, for what the comment was.
Yeah.
And in true troll fashion, you go to their page, nothing. There's nothing.
I didn't go to their page.
I did. I did.
I'm assuming so because I didn't care.
For what they are, they got nothing. So in
Yeah.
order to get something, they got to find someone else and, like, grab onto one of them. Someone in the comments, tell me what those things are at the climbing walls. I never go. You see them at playgrounds too, the little handholds, footholds, fucking whatever they are. Um, they're using other people that are doing stuff, good,
Yeah.
bad, or indifferent. You go see a shitty band at a local venue opening up a show and they suck, you know, like, at least they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
At least they're doing it. And probably a few months, a year from now, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Um, so,
Well, yeah, no, yeah, no,
and,
for
and,
sure.
and like, and not to get, too on a tangent, but my band, we've been putting on shows and bringing in bands. We got one coming up, and for the second time, we're bringing in a young band. It's their first show ever, not just as a band, but also as musicians. And we feel like, hey, that's important, and to give someone that chance,
Yeah.
because they're doing something at the end of the day. Now, are they going to be great? Well, the way the young kids go these days, they may be super good, but it's still going to be their first show, and they're doing the thing. If they are terrible, so what? They're doing the thing. And I have no time for someone who's gonna, you know, with all those context clues, still be shitty to someone like that.
Yeah.
It's bad enough if you're doing nothing, but it'd be even worse if you have been, like making comics for 20 years or 30 years.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have that. The, your radar shouldn't even, like, pick that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I think, I really, I mean, like I said, I think the important message here is, don't let those people get you down.
Hmm.
Keep going. Um, you know, I think the time to maybe listen to criticism is, like I said, maybe if you've got a bunch of people saying the same thing,
Yeah.
maybe look at it.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean you have to do whatever they're saying. I
No.
I really don't think that, but try and distance yourself enough from your work and critically look at your work and say, do you see what they see? You know,
Hmm.
um, you know, this last story that I released, it ends on and if you want to go watch my solo video,
Please do.
I talk a lot about this.
The thing in the
Um,
corner vlog.
yeah, thing in the corner comic blog. Uh, uh, it ends on a very Twilight Zoney kind of horror ending. In fact, I even had a comment that was, it's on the wing of the plane. It's on the wing of the plane. And if
Yeah.
anybody doesn't, that's a very classic Twilight Zone episode, slash it's a part in the movie,
Yeah.
and it's been redone 3 times now because then they did it in the reboot of the Twilight Zone series with Jordan Peele and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So, but very famous William Shatner episode. Then I think it was John Lithgow, right, that did it in the
Yes.
movie.
Yep. Yep.
And then I think it's Adam Scott who does it in the remake. They're all good performances. The newest one's probably my least favorite, but anyway, doesn't matter. I honestly wasn't even thinking about that story when I wrote this one. But I do love that, so it probably seeped in. But anyway, when I wrote it, I did I thought about it. I said there are going to be people that do not get this ending. It's gonna
Mhm.
happen. And for us, for I mean, down to Thursday when I was done, I was staring at it going, do I add a more definite conclusion to this and add a couple pages to give people that more definitive ending? And I looked at it and I was like, no, I don't. I'm sticking to it. This is the ending I like. I like
Mhm.
endings like this. I think it's important. And like I said, I don't want to rehash everything I said in the vlog, but I like when people have to use their imagination. Um,
Yep.
and I have a 144-page book that's all about that book of things. It is nothing but just
Book
pure,
of things.
yeah, and I think for some people that that book, there's certain people that it irritates because they're like, where's the narrative? Where does this go? And it's like, no, that's not what it's for. Um, so, but no, I stuck to my guns, and yeah, and I knew it. I knew I would get a few comments saying, were there a few pages missing or something like that. They didn't get it, and that was fine. But obviously, overwhelmingly positive, where I had a bunch of people going, no, I totally get what you were going for. Like I said, I
Yeah.
had a comment that was like, it's on the plane,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like they got it. That's what I wanted. And that's the thing. That's not for the writers out there. That's not something you do every story. That's not something I'm going to do every story where I
Yeah.
end on something like that. You don't do that. That's an every once in a while. I'm going to throw this out there. Am I going to do it again? Absolutely. Not a
Mhm.
doubt in my mind I'm going to do it again because I love that shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
You got to take risks sometimes,
yeah.
and it's not required that every comic book that you read of a title that, you don't miss. You don't have to love every issue.
Mm.
Um,
No. Oh, I know.
it'd be
Yeah.
nice, but sometimes the creators are going to throw you for a loop, is what we're talking about. Sometimes it's just going to not be up to par, but that can happen. And sometimes it's on purpose, bring you down so you can, skyrocket back up with the next one. Sometimes, hey, we're all human beings, and you may be, hopefully you're getting the best work out of anyone that you follow. But that's a spectrum. The best work that I can offer on a given day when I sit down to create, it's going to vary. And sometimes I recognize it that I'm not doing my best. So I'm taking the night off because I'm just not getting anything out of it.
Yep.
So as a consumer, you know, you're not always going to love everything all the time.
Yeah.
We're doing our best out here.
Yeah. Well, I'm a huge fan, and here's the thing. I have worked my series up to be something where I can do pretty much any story that I want to do.
Hmm.
I have it's a set of characters that I can just pluck them out and throw them into any situation. So anything that I want to do, I can do. Because of that, I don't necessarily, I would say the only real thread running through my work for this series is you're going to get Audrey, you're going to get Dad. Dad's an idiot, Audrey is not, and they're going to be put into a weird situation. Other than that, and hopefully there's going to be humor. Other than that, God knows it could be a horror story, it could be a fantasy story, it could be a sci-fi story. It's going to be whatever I
Hmm.
want. Because of that, I'm going to have different reactions from story to story. There might be someone who came on to follow me because of the more horror related stories, and they're going to like that. Well, then there might be someone that comes on to follow me because I did a more sci-fi story, and then the next story is going to be a horror story, and they're going to be like, "What the hell is this?" That's going to happen, you
Yeah,
know. So, and I know that, and that's I don't care.
100%.
Yeah,
100%, and don't take that as a we don't care about you. If you're watching, we care about you. We want you part of the process. We want you to come along on this ride of us making comics as we do it. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the videos, do that bell thing. I don't think we've pushed people towards the bell. you want to get notified when we're having a premiere or we have a new video or a new short drop. I don't know. Does it work for shorts? I don't know. All
I
the
don't know.
all the things. Do all the
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. 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 That's all I got. That's all I got. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that is funny. Well,
You should do
I
all
got
those things.
I got the proofs. I got the
Oh yeah, show that off before we go. Show it off.
for issue one, full page. So here we got the full size floppy. This is the big number one, the big number one. All it's the mini comic, chapter one plus chapter two, combined into one volume. I I guess I selected these kind of more stiff, like heavier stock covers. I would rather have the floppy cover. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to have them change that over, if I need to get another proof for that. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think I would
that's
ask Jeff what he used because
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I
yeah,
think that's the 80, just based on me looking at I want to say that's like the 80-pound glossy or something like that is what you
right.
have.
It's the default over here at Comics Wellspring. That's where Jeff had his printed as well. This is the
Yeah.
standard cover. Um, and I've got the variant cover, which will be more for the like Kickstarter rewards and things like that. It's my Bernie Wrightson homage. Um, I'm trying to keep the glare off of it a little bit,
No, it looks
but
good.
I actually the Swamp Thing issue that this is based off of was on the stands in April 1973, and I was doing this art in April 2023. So kind of a 50-year tie-in, sort of, even though the publication is going to be a little off by almost a year.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about those. I just got to mull over how I want the cover to actually be. I'd rather that floppier stuff. So I'm gonna talk to Comics Wellspring, um, and see what they recommend for me to get that. But I want them in time for the Matthews Comic Con, which is coming up fast next month. And
Yeah.
I forget where it is in the month, but I think is it in the first weekend?
I think it's the first weekend.
Yeah.
I was hoping that we would get an email here soon with some info.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
There should be one coming down if we haven't got it already.
yeah.
The so we're not doing Fluke, which is later on in March, sadly, and the next possibility, and we're going to talk about this later, but the Western Carolina Bigfoot uh festival is coming up in May,
Oh,
mid-May. So that'd be interesting. I think both of us have work that would go over pretty well in that environment. Um, and then we just have the rest of the stuff. We can talk about that later on. As we
yeah.
are running out of time,
Yep.
Ryan, do you got anything left for us?
No. The only thing I can think of is just do the damn thing. That's all I
That's
got.
that's right. We'll see
All
you.
right.